So I'm so happy to be joined by Regina Chase. She is in studio as from the time Regina walked in, it was just conversation. You saw we know each other. A long time, right? The vibe was just so natural, and I'm so happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
Greetings.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, I see you're a woman of deep faith and devotion. Yes, indeed. And we're getting ready for obviously your piece. We're going to treat with that in a few, but before we get there, walk me through poetry, what it means to you, that portal of expression, and how long now you've been using this particular medium to express yourself and your thoughts.
All right, so I've always been naturally inclined to like English, really good at English. I've always used poetry as a means to express myself as an outlet. Opposed to having like outbursts, I would just write whatever I feel. And any topic that comes to my head, the words just flow. So this piece, I was talking to a sister, and she was going through a situation, and I was like, you know what? My pet peeve is a deadbeat baby daddy. So this is where this piece came about.
That's right. And in terms of, well, before we get into the piece, right, do you do any, let's say, competitions or any showcase? Who's your audience really when you put down a masterpiece and you want to share? Do you share it with your children first, or you actually go out there and you meet and greet with the audience?
Well, definitely with my kids first. My daughter, the 13-year-old, she has this little talent just like me. So we went to the Roots Foundation open mic, I think it was Saturday, and her piece made everybody tear up. It was so impactful.
And she wrote it herself, huh?
Yeah, she did. And I was actually trying to get her to come to perform here this morning, but she didn't wake up. They went and sleep late. Well, it's holidays, right?
Well, of course, playing game and show alignment late, yeah.
So she's set to perform next week, Thursday, at an event with the Roots Foundation representing them.
Well, Regina, let's take in the piece. Again, it's entitled My Pet Peeve, a Deadbeat Daddy. It's Regina Chase for this, our Poets Corner. Enjoy.
Pet peeve, a deadbeat daddy. Our children didn't get the choice. No survey forms handed out at the gates of existence. No chance to circle A, B, or C. Option A, a father who stays. Option B, a father who prays. Or option C, a father who leaves, but makes excuses wrapped in cheap perfume and overdue apologies. Our children had no option. They were born into stories half-written, carried by women who stitched together the pages with sweat and sleepless nights. And we didn't have the option to choose our users, our abusers. The men who wore love like a mask, who spoke forever with lips that couldn't even hold down a day. You're so strong till you decide to get up and leave. You flex your muscles in the art of escape, call it freedom, call it manhood, call it, I wasn't ready, but I call it what it is. Cowardice wrapped in cologne, abandonment dressed in denim, betrayal pressed against the cheek of a child who still waits for footsteps at the door that never come. My pet peeve, a deadbeat daddy. Not just the absent ones, but the present in body, absent in spirit types. The one who sits on thrones, scrolling through phones while their kingdoms burn. The ones who think provision is present, that money is a substitute for memory, that silence is love spelled incorrectly. See, anybody could father a child. That's biology. But it takes courage to stay, discipline to build, humility to kneel beside a crib at 2 a.m., to apologize when your words cut deeper than belts, to teach your sons how to be men without breaking their spines, to teach your daughters that their words doesn't live inside the eyes of men who vanish. But you chose to leave. You chose the easier war. On playgrounds where children shoot questions instead of toy guns, where's my daddy? And mothers become translators for wounds too wide to stitch. Deadbeat daddy. Do you know what legacy you leave? You teach absence like a language. You teach avoidance like a religion. You teach your bloodline that love is a gift that only RSVPs. But let me tell you something. We are not raising victims. We are raising survivors. Our children will grow into empires built on the bricks that you dropped. They will learn strength not from your shadow, but from the blaze of mothers who refuse to let your silence be the last word. So this This is the poem you will never clap for. This is the mirror you will never want to face. And this is the anthem of every child who was forced to grow up asking questions that should have been answered by your arms. My pet peeve is a deadbeat daddy. But my hope is that one day you'll hear your child's name in a prayer, you'll see their face in a dream, you'll feel the weight of the years you missed pressed down on you heavier than any chain could ever. And maybe then you'll finally understand. Fatherhood isn't a choice you leave behind. It's the only title that you cannot resign. Thank you.
I love that. The only title you cannot resign. And let me tell you, as a dad, an active dad, it's one that I always say, out of all the different labels, media professional, performer thing, I think daddy is the one I cherish the most.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a real important role and function. Just have one, but it's, I feel really, when you go back to you're talking there and I'm kind of getting flashbacks as to when you're going to get them when they were small and they run into your daddy, and that's such a nice feeling. And I really wish that more men, we step up and we don't allow ourselves to become what's on screen there, that deadbeat daddy. And you also mentioned, besides the ones who are absent, the ones who are actually present but still absent, that to me is one of the saddest moments, because the daddy there physically,
Yeah.
but like the mind and the whole energy somewhere else. So a really important piece. What's generally the feedback when you recite that to our audience?
Generally, the feedback is like, wow, it has people in deep thoughts, and even present fathers, they sit and reflect on themselves and wonder if they are the present in body, absent in spirit types. And as one of the lines go, see, anybody can father a child, that's biology. A lot of times, you get into situations where the baby may not have been planned, but guess what? Now is your time to step up.
Yeah, for sure.
And be that present father and, break the cycle of all these single parent homes.
Well, Regina, I want to thank you for being here this morning. I look forward to another chance to enjoy some of your work down the road. And when your daughter get up and can make it, bring her to...
I definitely will.
Let's meet her.
All right, thank you so much for having me.
Regina Chase, have a great one for
you
sure.
You too, bye.
Bye-bye, blessings. With that, we are going to get ready for Ian Bishop. That's right, stepping in, being inducted into the CPL Hall of Fame. Let's find out, the man behind the commentary, the man behind what we see on the TV. Who is Ian Bishop? We're going to find out that after the break. Stick around.
God gave us a spirit fiery, but nothing in the world will bother we. But look how smart man